Hi guys, this is Betsy again. Welcome back. Sorry it has been so long. I've been like super busy with the baby and adjusting to motherhood and all these new things that have came my way. Have any new projects that I'm working on aside of being a mommy and a wifey. But I told you that I was going to tell you my labor and delivery story. It was hard for me to make this video, and that's one of the reasons that it took me so long, because I could not watch the images of my labor. I was blessed enough to be able to record it. My husband wore a GoPro during the labor, and we also had our tripod with our camera there. And my mommy was using her phone and taking little videos and pictures. So I'm going to be showing a few of them, not many, during this video, just so you guys have an idea of what happened and how everything worked out and all that stuff. The reason why I was not able to see my labor video was because I could not hear me screaming, because it was like I was feeling the pain all over again. So originally I was supposed to go in for natural labor, and then I ended up using nitro, and then I ended up having to get an epidural, so I was not forced to get a C-section because I was going to be too weak, as my labor was 36 freaking hours. So yeah, it was a pretty long labor, and I'm going to go in detail a little bit more about what happened. But yeah, on this we're going to talk about my labor, which was 36 hours. Me trying to do natural. Me having to start using the nitro, and having to get an epidural. Actually, before getting an epidural, I was induced, although my water broke and I was already dilated and all those stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna go in more detail about it. Actually, I'm mumbling too much. Let's just start. May 7th, I was at a party with my husband and my friends, and we were having a great time. Everybody thought I was going to be leaving early because I was super huge, and who wants to be out when you weigh a gazillion pounds and your belly's hanging low, super big with a lot of pressure. But I ended up staying there until like 2 in the morning. I don't know, I had a feeling that was like, it was going to be like my last party, just me and my husband. I don't know. But yeah, we went out to my friend's birthday. We left there around 1:30, 2 in the morning. We got home, went straight to bed. We were so tired. I was so tired. My feet was hurting really bad, and I felt lots of pressure on my stomach. And we just went straight to bed. Come 4 in the morning, and I feel like I pee myself. And let me tell you, this is not the first time this happened. On top of that, I have a very small bladder. My baby was pushing on my bladder since I was 20 weeks pregnant. So I had to use the bathroom constantly, and I will hold until the last minute. Why? Because I had to get up 4 to 5, 6 times a night to pee. And it was getting really difficult to get any sleep. So this time I'm like, oops, I probably hold it too long, and it came out and I peed myself. So I went to the bathroom, I cleaned myself, and I came right back to bed. 6 in the morning, I'm starting feeling all these pains, and I didn't know what it was, and it will come and go. It will last a little bit, but then it will go away. So I just went right back to bed. I was in a party till 2 in the morning. I was really tired still. It was 6 in the morning. I had got up already a couple of times to pee, plus the one at 4 in the morning when I thought I peed myself. 8 in the morning, I told my husband, baby, I am in a lot of pain. I don't know what to do. And he's like, are you in labor? I'm like, no, I don't think so. We still got like 6 weeks to go. So I started reading online like most of us do. And it sounded like it was symptoms for false labor, which it can happen when you're going towards the end of your pregnancy. However, I wasn't 100% sure. So I went ahead and called my midwife. And she told me, well, you're really early. You're a little early. You came in the other day and everything was fine. Mind you, I went to the emergency room on Thursday, and This was on a Sunday, actually. I should tell you that from the beginning. So on a Sunday, that's when I started having the labor feelings. On the Thursday before that, I went to the doctor and I told them that I was having my feet were really, really swollen. So I was very, very scared of my blood pressure, because blood pressure runs in my family. And on top of that, I felt a ridiculous amount of pressure on my vagina. Like, my belly was hanging really low and I felt like it was gonna burst open because it was really big, and I feel like my belly could not stretch anymore, and all that pressure down there. So they did a few tests to see if I was gonna be going in labor within the next 2 weeks, because if I was, they were gonna give me some kind of steroid shots and to make sure the baby lungs were developed. And when I went on Thursday, they told me I was 2 centimeters dilated, but I was good. I could went home because I could have been 2 centimeters all the way until I was 40 weeks. So they say, oh, you're fine, go home. I'm like, are you sure? I'm not feeling well, blah, blah, blah. They, oh, you're good. So I just went home on Thursday. So when I called my midwife that Sunday at 8 in the morning, she's like, well, they checked and they said you were fine, so just take a warm bath. And if you start having contractions that are 5 minutes apart, give me a call back. So 8 in the morning, I took a bath, went back to sleep. I was having contractions here and there every 20 to 30 minutes. So I figured, just my luck, I'm going to be having contractions all day long for the next 5 weeks. Because the contractions were not going away. However, they were not 5 minutes apart. So to me, I was not in labor, according to what the doctor told me, what the midwife told me. Come noon, and my mom called me, and I was telling her what was going on with me. I'm talking to my sister, who was also pregnant at the time, who had her baby 2 days after me, by the way. And I was telling her all my symptoms, and she's like, no, you should go to the doctor, you should go to the doctor. I'm like, no, I think it's false labor. I really don't want to go to the doctor. I already went to the doctor on Thursday. I spent all day yesterday for them to send me home. So I don't want to go there. And I don't feel good. I don't feel like dealing with that. I'm just going to relax and I'm just going to stay home. Everybody was telling me to go to the doctor. My mom called me. She's like, you better go to the doctor. I'm going to get off from work so I can take you. I'm like, no. My husband called in that day. He didn't go to work. He stayed at home with me because we didn't know exactly what was going to happen. And I wasn't feeling good. So he didn't want me to be alone. So, we went, my mom stayed at work. I told her to stay at work, so I didn't want to go to the doctor. And another reason why I didn't want to go to the doctor, which is super, super stupid. I was so stupid to think this way. I should have never done this, which was my reason to not go to the hospital earlier, was because my pregnancy pictures were the next day. And I really wanted to take my pregnancy pictures. My belly was so beautiful. So I wanted to make sure I had pictures of that. However, I was not fortunate enough to be able to, have that moment on pictures. But my mom got out of work at 4. Well, at 2, when my mom told me to go to the hospital, I was like, let me call the midwife again. And I called her, and you have to call a line, and then this line called the midwife for you, and and then she calls you back. But when I call her at 2, it looks like some reason when I get them my phone number, because I was going through a contraction when I called them, it looks like she heard my number wrong. So when the midwife was trying to reach me, they were calling the wrong number, which they have my file. So I don't understand why that happened. So when my mom got out of work at 4, she's like, that's it. You've been in pain all day. This is not normal. You have to go to the doctor. My husband was doing some upgrades around the house as he was staying home that day. So I told him, babe, just stay home. It's probably nothing. I'm a big baby, which I consider myself a big baby because I love to be spoiled, but my pain tolerance is really high. That's why I chose to go with the natural labor. So I told her to stay home. I actually drove myself to the hospital because my mom hates driving, and I told her I was fine. I told everybody I was fine, although I could barely walk, and I'm gonna add an image right here so you guys can see that I could barely walk when I was leaving my house to get into my car. I had my husband holding me, but here, look at it right there. So I drove myself to the hospital. I got there, and they told me that I was I was 4 centimeters dilated. And they also asked me, when did my water broke? I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, well, your water broke. I'm like, no, it didn't. I don't remember that happening. And she's like, well, think about it. Something must have happened. You have to think about it. So I remember that I thought I peed myself at 4 in the morning. So she's like, oh my God, your water broke 12 hours ago. This is already 4 or 5 in the afternoon. You should have came here when your water broke, blah, blah, blah. So they called the midwife. She got to the hospital real quick. She was there within 30 minutes. So that was amazing. That's the best thing about having a midwife, but I'm going to do another video about this. She got to the hospital. By the time they checked me that I was 4 centimeters dilated to the time that the midwife got to the hospital, that I was 6 centimeters dilated. So they checked me, and I was unsure because I felt the baby moved funny. So I wasn't sure if he was head down. So they checked me, and they told me that they felt his hair. So that just blew my mind. I just called my husband like, hey, they felt his hair. You have to come here. So he was getting all ready. I was already at the hospital with my mom. I feel so bad because my mom was at work since 4 in the morning. It was already 5 in the afternoon. She didn't even make it home or nothing. She just came to the hospital with me because I was being hot-headed and told her to stay at work because I thought I was not pregnant. I was not in labor. So they moved me to my room upstairs. And I told them, well, they asked me what I wanted to do for pain. And I told them I wanted to do it naturally. However, I want to have the Nitrous Oxide, the nitro there, just in case I couldn't take the contractions. And the nitro is like the best way that you can go through a labor because it doesn't have any effects on the baby. And I experienced it, and it will help me through the contractions. I did it a couple of times, and then I got on the top, and once I was on the top, I didn't do it there just for safety reasons and because it was really relaxing. Here's some images from when I was on the top. So yeah, my husband was there, always holding my hand. My mom was there recording us, and she was there rubbing my belly, throwing water at me, and I was in pain, but I was a happy birth because I was gonna meet my baby. So this was around 8 o'clock already. My husband was already there, and I was having my contractions I was already regular every 5 minutes. However, my baby moved up. He was not trying to come down. He said, "Mommy, I'm not ready," and he went right up. So I was in the tub for about 2 to 3 hours. I came out of the tub because yeah, it was not working out for me. The contractions were really, really intense. And I moved to the birth ball. So I was bouncing on the birth ball, and there, because I was in pain for so long, you know, since 4 in the morning, it's already 8 at night. 9 p.m. I started doing the nitro, and I inhaled through the contractions, and I was bouncing on the ball, and these are some images.
That's fine. Levántate y bájate. Así, eso. Es así.
I was doing that for about 3 hours as well, and this baby was still not coming. So, at around 3 in the morning, I walked through the hallways. I bounced on my ball. I did some squats. I got in the bed. I did a whole bunch of stuff to make this baby go down, and he was not having it. So around 4 or 5 in the morning, they told me that I looked very weak. So they were gonna try to induce me. They induced me. That was at 3 in the morning. And they told me to wait an hour. And the hour passed. Nothing. No baby. Nothing. So at this point, it had already been 24 hours. And they decided to give me some antibiotics because they were worried that the baby might get an infection because my water broke at 4 in the morning the day before. They also told me to start thinking of a possibility of a C-section because he needed to get out of there. So my midwife, she was, and this was doctors talking, because although I had a midwife, I did deliver at the hospital, and she's like, well, we don't want you to have a C-section, and to make sure that doesn't happen, we're going to have to give you an epidural because you are very weak. You'll be in pain for several hours. We have to give you an epidural. Is that something you're willing to consider? I said, no, I don't want to do that. I want to do this natural. The natural is enough. Bull. No. She left. 30 minutes later, I called and I said, I do not want a C-section. This baby is not coming down. You can give me the epidural. The epidural was horrible. Not to scare anybody out there. But I was so scared to get paralyzed. I could not hold my husband's hand. I could not hold my mom's hand. I just had to be there. My contractions were like 2 minutes apart. Whew. Just talking about it, it reminds me of the pain that I felt. The contractions were like 2 minutes apart. And this doctor trying to poke my freaking spine with a needle. He told me don't move, like it's so easy. So he poked me, and I guess he poked me wrong. Hopefully my midwife, since she's a trained professional, she was able to hold me. She had my hands, and I was leaning on her shoulder, and she was like my best friend, my mama, everything at that moment, because that was the only thing I had to hold on to. So he had to poke me a second time. Mind you, my contractions were 2 minutes apart. So while I was feeling my contractions, I was also feeling the pain from this guy trying to poke me. So yeah, I think the epidural was like one of the worst parts of my labor experience. So 6 in the morning, I already got my epidural. My midwife said, well, I have to go. I'm like, what? The whole point of getting a midwife is so you didn't have to go. It's like, yeah, I know, but this baby's not coming anytime soon. Your contractions have slowed down, actually. So they no longer 2 minutes apart, so 5 minutes apart. They were like 20 minutes apart. At this point, I was not feeling the contractions as strong because I already had the epidural. So she left. A new nurse came and she talked to me and she told me, hey, it's going to happen any minute.
Okay. All right. I think you're doing great. So hang in there. All right. You're going to be having that baby soon.
That's what they say. Put the mirror in there. Put the mirror in there. Does it have something?
At this point, I had it. I'm like, whatever. They just keep saying this. I'm so sick of it. In my head, I thought I was gonna have a C-section because I thought this baby was not gonna come down. I had already made peace with it. I'm like, whatever I have to do to get my baby here safely, even if it is a C-section, which I did not want to do. There's nothing wrong with C-sections. I just had my mind set up that I wanted a natural baby. I wanted to push my baby out, and that was the thing that I wanted to do. So, she leaves at 6. I take a little nap for like 20 minutes. A nurse came and they said, "Oh, we gotta start practicing for the actual delivery part, cause labor, that's nothing, girl." She tells me. I'm like, wait, what? I went through all this and you tell me that's nothing? And as much of research I did, I really never realized that the worst part of labor and delivery, let me tell you, is the actual delivery. All those 30 hours of pain that I have felt, they were nothing compared to the actual delivery. My midwife comes back. She left because she had to go feed her pets. And she came back, and I was so thankful because if I would have had a doctor, I would have had to do this with a different doctor. And she came after being awake all night and going through it with me. And my family was there too after being there all night. They were all like supporting me and encouraging me and telling me that I could do this. So we started practicing for the labor. They were telling me how to breathe, because everything that I learned on the birth class, that just went out the window. I didn't remember none of that stuff.
To grab your legs, yeah, bring them back towards you and push very hard into your bottom. Curl your face around, neck to, yep, that way. Push into your bottom, right down here. I want you to use these muscles.
Okay.
Okay?
Do I need all this? It's
You
too
don't.
heavy.
You can take it off if you'd like.
Yeah, can you please help me?
Yes. All right. And then push really hard. Hard as you can. Good, 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 good. And then big breath in. Try to hold it for 8 seconds. Big push. Go on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Try not to blow that air out because you lose your momentum.
Okay.
Big breath and push. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Good.
Anything you want to say for your first push?
I don't think I did anything.
It takes a couple to get the hang of it.
I was breathing completely incorrect. I was pushing completely incorrect. I was doing everything wrong. I was in so much pain because although they did give me the epidural, they gave me the epidural based on my height. I'm a short girl. I'm only 5 feet, but I'm a little overweight. So they give it to me based on my height, not on my weight. So when it came time to the actual labor, I felt everything.
Good work. All right, when you get a break, I'm going to
clear it away.
Come up on here. Open those knees up.
It was so painful. Just because at the beginning I knew it was going to be painful, but just because I had received the medication and I had the epidural, I thought I was not going to feel anything. I heard girls that said, "Oh, I just pushed and it came right out." Oh, I didn't feel anything. I just felt some pressure. I felt everything. I felt My JJ is spreading open.
And push. Curl that chin down. 1, right there. Go, 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 go. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good job.
Oh, sorry.
I told you it was work, didn't I? No kidding.
How you feeling?
Like something's poking me here.
Feel like a working girl.
I think he's poking me.
Always at the monitor.
No, like it's from the inside.
Yeah, but we do have monitors up in here too.
So yeah. My labor was a very hard experience, but the most beautiful thing came out of it, and it was this.
Great job.
Alright, I'll do you.
All right, thank you.
Oh, I know. You are good. Oh, look at that nice smile already. Yes.
Can you feel me pinch right there?
Yes. Can you fix my leg? Can you fix my leg?
You can open the pit.
So yeah, that was the best part of all this. And what I learned about this story was that we go. I made a birth plan. I had a plan. I came out of the hospital with my piece of paper and I said, this is my birth plan. I want this. I don't want to have any medication. I don't want a whole bunch of lists of things that I wanted and I didn't want it. And I to be honest, I don't know where that paper went. What happened to it? Who even looked at it? You have to go to the hospital open-minded. You never know what can happen and what changes you're gonna have to make. You're gonna have to make the decision based on what's happening at the moment and based on what's gonna be the best thing for you and baby, because that's the most important thing. To at the end of the day, come out of it with a beautiful, healthy baby. My baby was born 6 pounds 9 ounces. He was 6 weeks early. But for a 34-weeker, he was huge. He was a little huge baby. He did not have to go to the NICU. They did not give me any steroids in his lungs, and they were worried about that. But his lungs were still great. He came out crying super beautifully loud. And when he got on my chest, he smiled at me. And as painful as it was, I will do it all over again. He's like the best gift ever. It took me so long to make this video because I was sleep deprived for a very long time. Now I'm feeling a lot better. So hopefully you're going to be seeing a lot more of me. And yeah, this is my story. I hope you like my video. I hope you leave comments down below. I hope this helps you in any way. And if it does, please make sure you like and subscribe so I know people's looking at my videos and I can keep making more, okay? Well, thank you. Until next time. Bye-bye.